All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody. Back with Writing Raven Universe. My name is William WJR Parks. Janelle is gonna try to make it today. She's in the process of looking for a house. She just sold hers, so a lot of stuff came up for her this week. So we'll see. She pops on by and says hi. Today, glad to have finally on the show Kindra Sowder and Edd Sowder. They were one of the very first people that I actually published with when I first had my Raven book out. So, how are you guys doing today?
I'll let her answer that.
You don't need to answer that. Oh my goodness, no. I'm just tired.
I bet.
She has good reason. 7 months pregnant. So,
And being very much pregnant will do that. So
yeah, I bet. It's like
so there's a lot in that, and I want some chocolate, and I want that donut, and it sounds great tonight. And what are you eating over there?
No donuts with what do you call it? Wafers in the middle of them yet. I was fiending for that the other day.
I'm talking about her. Her, that's me. What are you eating over there?
You're the one that's like going through the cravings. It's bouncing from her to you.
I think than I have to be completely honest.
Yeah, probably. The only difference is I can have a beer once in a while and she can't have anything. So.
Oh yeah. Well, that's my drink right now. Is my my Deserrano. So. So if I start slurring during the show, that's what's going on. So. But that's okay. I did good yesterday at spilling ink, so I should be okay.
I like being on spilling ink because Katie and Jay, they take good care of you over there. They're great people.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, we had some.
I should know now because I just gave them a shout out.
I think like you have a little.
Anything with Joe.
So you have a little bit of delay, so I can never tell when it's like I'm looking at the what do you call it? Those old time Japanese shows.
Oh yeah, like the old Godzilla movies where they're like, "Come on, stop!"
Yeah. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not talking over you when I see your mouth moving. So, but yeah. So I'm glad to have you guys here at least on the show. Janelle, like I said, couldn't make it unfortunately, but maybe she'll pop in. Our show kind of consists of course, our Raven universe. We usually talk on Tuesdays about it and give tips while we're talking about the way me and Janelle wrote and our mistakes throughout the 10, 11 years that we've been writing. And then on Thursdays or Sundays, we usually like to have, of course, special guests come in, talk about their books and what they have in their works. Wow. And of course, if they can share any kind of tips. I figured this would be pretty cool because since Kindra, of course, is an amazing author there. And let me see if I can bring up some of her works here.
I don't give you credit now.
It's mainly all your works on your website here is what I had. So Chasing Shadows, of course, the Permutation Archives, and I remember this one in the bottom. This is the one that I got to know you with, the Executioner Trilogy.
Yeah, that's getting a revamp, complete revamp.
Yeah, I heard it was going to get a revamp, and then of course the Miss Hyde novellas is something that pretty good fan of since lately I decided to Let me see. How do I take this off again? Still learning how to do these things. There we go. I finally got your book. So.
Well, that's good because I sent it to you like 6 months ago.
I don't know about 6 months, but
well, I ordered it and stuff because I wanted to, of course, put it in with my collection of covers that I've done. Of course, there's Ed's Mirrors right there, the first book. And I've got the second book.
Off of the before.
So a pretty good collection of the covers that I've done. Hopefully my collection grows. Maybe I can get some more authors who would like to have their covers designed. So what do you have in the works right now, Kindra?
I am currently working with Santiago on the second zombified book, the rewrite of the entire Executioner trilogy, and trying to finish up these Miss Hyde books so I can get that second volume out.
Wow, all that while being pregnant. So that must be that's a pretty good workload right there, I bet.
Yeah, along with having my day job on top of it, it makes it.
No, you just got a full schedule.
I'd rather go ahead and do it now.
Yeah. How about you, Ed? I know that you've been out of the world's eye for a while right now. So, how's things been going for you?
Yeah. Well, I'm still recovering from surgery I had back in November, but I've been doing some editing for a few authors that I know very well, helping them do some stuff, doing a couple of editorial reviews, and I'm in the process of revising, thanks to my beta readers. Gave me a ton of feedback on my snow-covered book, which is supposed to be a trilogy. And I've got a third poetry book I'm going to throw together, try and get it out sometime this year.
Oh, nice. There we go. Well, that's good. Yeah, because I know that I also did a little bit of beta reading for your snow covered, and did a little bit mock up for the. Oh, go ahead.
You gave me a lot of great feedback, and I mean, I've got 7 more ideas floating around in my head, but I haven't started them yet. They're just ideas at this point.
Yeah, and that's what I usually do. I have an enormous amount of ideas in my head as well, so I haven't completely started on them. I myself got 2 books in the works right now. One was Janelle, and of course the Raven trilogy, the final book, to get that out. And well, as far as I know you have like a busy schedule, Kindra. I know how all that is because I myself have, I do photography and other business stuff, and trying to fit in writing into that. How do you fit all that in? Actually, do you just decide one day you're gonna have a, set aside some time during a day, or do you actually have it planned out on a scheduled, calendar in order to set aside time and write?
So basically, when I get off work, I'll take care of the usual things, help cook dinner, clean whatever needs to be cleaned or whatever, and then I'll jump on whatever I feel like needs to be jumped on at the time. So right now, that's basically Zombified 2 done.
Okay. I still need to buy that book and try to get the so I can get caught up and get the second book. I'm trying to read this one right now, and oh man, I got so many books to read. I got like a pile of books to read, and I got like another whole shelf on the. It's like trying to jump from reading to writing. I mean, you get a lot of ideas. I mean, for sure, when you're writing or reading books. I love to see the different styles of writing. Um, I know that I was seeing a little bit of the what do you call it? The first execution, not the executioners, the harvested. I read that one. It was a pretty good ending to that one too. You kind of build up into the I guess the ending. But I know I see that your style, and I don't know if Ed's style has completely come into fruition yet. Um, it's interesting to see the different ways that people just write, their stylistic preference. Have I don't know. I guess the first Executioner trilogy, when it first came out, you would say that you already matured. Let's say changed your style, or do you kind of keep the same style of writing since you started?
I would say my style has definitely changed. I used to prefer detail oriented and all about detail in so I've kind of toned down on that some because I don't want to drag the story down too much, and I realize that in some instances that does that. So I try not to do that nearly as much anymore. And you can ask him since he edits some of my books, well, pretty much all of them now. I think I've gotten better at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the very beginning, I was like, "Oh my God, we don't need to know every little aspect of what the hell she's doing." And
You lose you guys?
yeah, our internet is crap. I really want to try the other internet. It seems to be better when we're doing this stuff. AT&T sucks.
So you have two different internets coming into your house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've got two different services, and they both suck. So.
Oh gosh, that's. Oh yeah, that does suck. Luckily, when I moved into this new
try
place,
to do the podcast on my phone. If I do them on my phone, I get better reception than I do on the internet. It's pretty bad.
Oh wow. Yeah, because I've seen you do videos on your phone, and they seem to come in pretty good. I don't know if you can actually. I think you can actually still do this stream on your phone. I don't know. It might be if it gets bad. That might be a thought, just in case I lose you. Be talking to myself in my screen for a while.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I just got the first part of what you said a while ago. I don't think they caught the last part.
We can try again.
I know you were, I guess, talking about Kindra's new, I guess, her way of details, and I guess moving forward and cutting back from it, being able to move, I guess, with the story, flow the story better.
Okay, hold on. He's trying to connect.
I'm connected to the phone.
I see a third one right there. I was like, hey, it's Edd and Kindra again. Let's see. Let me add that one. Hey, there we go. We got more movement now. Yeah. I can actually see y'all.
I know. I can actually see you now, too.
No, I just got to fix it to where we're both on it. There we go.
Doesn't do landscape?
Sorry?
I don't know. If will it flip it to flip your phone landscape? I don't know.
Working on iPhone, I don't know a whole lot about it.
Oh, there we go. It's amazing. It's amazing how phones can. You don't need to do a lot of adjustment. It does everything for you.
This is first time I've had an iPhone since the iPhone 3, so that tells you something. This is an 11.
All right.
Told you.
Now I can actually kind of follow your mouth when it's moving. That way I know if you're talking or not talking yet.
Well, I keep trying to get Kindra to upgrade her phone because her camera and her microphone really suck. And she is reluctant to do it because she doesn't have a phone payment anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed with the camera on this one. It does a pretty good job.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, if I use my phone to do the stream, it comes out really good. It's interesting because I paid $150 for this camera here to hook it on my computer, and I'm like, man, my phone gets better because I got everything lit up, so that way everything is pretty good at showing. But when my phone, I don't even need to have lights. It's just like, bam, perfect. But all right, now we can have a do what?
I'm digging your backdrop. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. I got some photography back there and my spawn and my books. And of course, all the other stuff that I read over here on that side. So
wallpaper for the podcast. It's really good. I know it's the book cover, but I can't remember which book cover right off the top of my head.
Talking about the two posters right behind me?
I'm talking about the poster that's behind our screens.
Oh, you're talking about the actual. Okay. Yeah, that one is the one I designed. It's going to be one of my other. That's actually Judith.
Yeah.
Judith. Yeah. That's actually Judith. So that's the one that I hopefully have a book cover sometime, probably not this year for sure, just because of my other works I'm trying to get out. But yeah. I figured I'd make a book of her own since she's kind of noteworthy in my world.
Well, having been somebody who has read a substantial amount of the Ravenverse, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
She's definitely got her own right. So yeah.
Yeah, I got an idea for her stories. I know that I have a few other ones in the works. I know I'm trying to get Ashia Storm out this year as well. She was actually a character that kind of links all my worlds together in the Raven universe, but also because she has I call it the Stone of Realms, she can jump into other different realms. And that's what's one of my ideas in order to, because I know I was kind of floating the idea to work with Kindra and maybe jump into her world. And I was like, you know what, this would be the perfect way to do it. I get my character with the Stone of Realms, and then finally we can jump into Kindra's world. Or even Brian's world was well, no, that's Kindra's world too, right? Brian Tan.
If you're thinking of Bryce Creed, no, that's separate.
Yeah, those are completely separate.
Bryce Creed, he's
the ones that are the same are the Permutation Archives and the John Baker Chronicles. Those are in the same.
Okay, yeah, John Baker.
Yeah.
I couldn't get over the ending on that one still. So I love that character.
He said, when Brian came to me for that one and told me his idea, he was like, I don't have to write it if you don't want me to. And I said, no, now you have to because you told me about it and I love it.
I had so much fun with Brian going through that book, back and forth with comments and editing and, hey, let's make him say this because I just think it seems like it'd be something he says. And he'd get back to me and say, man, that is awesome. Yeah, let's do that. And while we're at it, let's add this too. And we had so much fun going through the revisions and the edits on that final copy that's out now.
Oh, I bet that was fun and stuff. Yeah, because I know I had approached him with an idea to take over one of my characters, Andreas, from the West Texas Blood Raven book that I had. And I know we went back and forth, and then he sent me his PDF for the arc on, was it Bryce Creed? Yeah, the Enforcer. And I like the way he writes this, the way that he does his action scenes are pretty badass. I like just because I'm an action writer, so
a lot of martial arts growing up, so he's just visualizing what the moves are in his martial arts moves, and that's what he's writing, which works. So I watched you and Janelle talk about Write What You Know earlier. I was trying to catch up a little bit, and while she sometimes disagrees, if you've never wrote an action scene before, but you took like Taekwondo, Write What You Know.
I haven't done either, and I write action scenes.
Right, but you have a
I
very,
know nothing.
a very dynamic imagination.
This is also true.
So if you're,
and I would assume you would do. I would assume you do your research too. I know because I took like boxing, karate, taekwondo, Chin Na, and studied a little bit of capoeira along with MMA when I was growing up. And which I'm trying to get back into MMA, hopefully when I lose this weight. But yeah, that's how I kind of visualize all the movements and trying to put it from how my brain registers it into the actual description and painting the picture. Like Chin Na is a smaller form in Kung Fu, but you're pretty much twisting the wrist, trying to explain how to twist the wrist. It goes into detail. You don't usually need to go into that much detail. I love it because a lot of people say, well, you just want to explain it and tell them like you do for screenplays in a movie. Say they win in a fight, the guy beat up all the enemies and move forward. It was like, yeah, I guess that's okay. But I like to go into the details.
Very bland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually want to see you get a leg severed or something. That'd be awesome.
As far as most of the action scenes I read, I don't really do much research as far as those go. But there is one series that I've been working on for years that I have yet to even finish just the first book on. And
wow.
The main character, her father used to be Israeli military, so he knows Krav Maga, and he, of course, taught her. So I wanted to make sure I was right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I have a background with the martial arts, but I still like to go in and read other books. Like, what's his name? R.L. Salvatore is one of my biggest. Like, I love that guy. I don't know if y'all keep up with Dungeons and Dragons or not, but Drizzt Do'Urden is like.
That's in middle school.
The little bit I know, the little bit about it I know came from Big Bang Theory, so it's not much.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I used to play it, and I was a geek in it, and yeah, a lot of my the first books I ever wrote were actually epic fantasy that were based on all the campaigns we did for Dungeons and Dragons. But my biggest hero was Drizzt Do'Urden because he's such a badass with swords, and the way he writes the action scenes, he goes into detail. Like, he blocked it. There was a second before the sword, slashed his throat open, but he was able to parry it and move out of the way, do a tumble, circle around the enemy, slash him in the. I was like, he goes into detail. So it gives me a lot of ideas in that sense. I guess that's how I do my research. I guess imagination and experience. I can see how that would come in from how you were saying with Brian Tan. He has a background in martial arts as well. So, when I was reading the what do you call it? I get those two confused. Bryce Creed and
John Baker.
John Baker. There we go. John Baker. When I was reading John Baker, especially when I guess it was the first time he met up with the what do you call it? Not the Paradigm Group. Was it the Paradigm Group? Or I keep messing up. It's been a while since I read it. Your character's main name is
Mila. Yeah.
Mila.
Paradigm and in Charleston. Yeah. So that was like the first time they ever came together.
Yeah, he like went into a good action scene there, and I think like two of the guys he took down pretty quick or broke somebody's arm or something like that, and I was like, dang, that's interesting. And then
just a couple.
I tell Brian all the time when we talk to each other about anything John Baker. My favorite character is Ruckus.
Oh, Ruckus, yeah, Ruckus was pretty interesting.
Awesome. He reminds me of what I'm going to be like in 10 years.
Who doesn't like a foul? Who doesn't like that?
Yeah,
So
he's a foul-mouthed vet, doesn't give a shit about anybody, thinks the government screwed him over. I feel the same way.
Who doesn't like it?
Quite a few people. So, maybe you'll be joined and have a big cult in the future of like a ruckus, the ruckus cult. There we go. but yeah, I like that. I like that action scene right there. I like when Mila like used her telekinetic powers in order to throw. I don't know if you have a specific name. Is it telekinetic? I know that she burns everybody up from the inside.
I've been calling her the atomic telekinetic because she isn't only just telekinetic, but she has the ability to go down into the subatomic level and affect people in that way as well. So
quite literally, she can focus in on your molecular structure and destroy it.
Yeah, so that's yeah. See, my character doesn't have that.
She just thinks about it and it's over.
Well, in the beginning, it takes her a little bit because she doesn't have any control over it. It's very much driven off of her emotions instead of actual focus. And the farther she goes into the books, the more she learns to control it, and she can actually do it on just pure will. So
I think that by the end of book 5, she'd give Jean Grey a run for her money.
Oh, wow.
As Dark Phoenix, she would give Jean Grey, Dark Phoenix, a run for.
That's some pretty.
She's actually kind of the inspiration behind some of that. So yeah, I love Jean Grey.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because the Dark Phoenix. Oh man, you're getting into some power levels there.
I think Jean Grey would be able to give Raven a run for her money, and saying that because you know how much I love the Raven universe.
Yeah.
I even told Brian with his Bryce Creed. I said, Bryce, I hate to tell you this, man, but Raven would kick his ass. And he's like, oh, hell no, it ain't gonna happen. He was all defending his vampire against your vampire. And I'm like, well, you guys get. And let's see if we can make a spin-off work to where you write one book. And at the time we were running Burning Willow Press, I said, I'll publish it. And he goes, oh, I'm going to get in touch with William. Yeah, this is going to happen. And I'm like, so I told William what was going on. For you guys that are watching this live, I told William what was going on. And William was like, well, yeah, that'd be an interesting fight. I'd love to write it with them. But I go, well, my money's on Raven, so don't let me down.
I guess in the end outcome, I guess that's what it comes down to is who has the most fans to say who's going to win. I guess that's how they do it between DC versus Marvel.
And that's what you're getting into right there was a DC versus Marvel fight right there. So, the only thing I see that DC's got going for them is they got Superman. But hell, all they need is some kryptonite and he's out of the picture.
You can't forget Batman. He's Batman.
Batman's Santiago, Batman's the man.
Yeah, Batman. How come you can beat everybody? Because I'm Batman.
Exactly.
And he's been looking so much Batman. The baby, I think the baby's gonna think he's Batman.
And that's what I
Well,
want.
he'll be on the winning side then.
I like Marvel. I do. I like Marvel a lot. But as far as I'm concerned, DC's got one person, Batman.
Yeah.
And anything associated with Batman wins by default. But that's about it.
Well, see, the thing with Marvel is they actually have a little bit more. I consider their characters a little bit more, I guess, in a way of three-dimensional. They do have three-dimensional characters in DC, but Marvel just has a way to actually bring and get in touch with those emotions compared to DC. DC's characters are like Superman. Come on, you have to have so much besides kryptonite. You have to have so much in order to even go and defeat him. And I love the movie Justice League, but I hated the where they had the scene where he was fighting all the Justice League, and especially with Wonder Woman. I mean, Wonder Woman has taken down Superman before, but he just went in there and put her down. I was like, no, there's no way. She's like she knows.
Wonder Woman's just as strong as Superman. And I mean, she's just as strong as he is. So,
and her fighting skills. I mean,
no kidding. I mean, even when she was a child, she had them.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was interesting. That's the only thing that I would have. My biggest focus was on that movie. I mean, there was other things, but hey, look at who we have here.
I'm sorry it took me so long, and excuse my appearance. I've been wrapping and packing boxes all morning. How is everybody today? Let's see, we have Edd and Kindra, right?
Yeah.
And we got to meet, huh?
I'm sorry I didn't catch that.
It's about time we got to meet. We've talked on the phone a few times. One time I spoke to her, she was circling Hawaii.
Yeah. That's right. We were. Yes, that's right. Great trip. So what were you talking about?
We're just chatting and talking about character development and a little bit, and how DC's got one character and Marvel fleshes theirs out.
Yeah. Our internet's like every now and then their voices might cut out just if we're talking over them. So just give you a heads up. So if you're talking and you don't hear their mouth and they're just moving, it's because we're talking.
Okay.
Yeah. Awful. We apologize.
Well, my internet's not good. Will's always complaining about it. So
yeah. But
that's
right.
Will's going to get a $10,000 electric bill here in a couple of days.
No.
Oh yeah, I heard something about that. Oh.
Yeah, I'm hoping it skips us. I told my niece to make sure to take off her automatic pay. So I was like, because if they take it, there's no way we're going to get it unless we have lawyers. So
yeah. Well, I don't think they're going to let them do that. Really, I mean, somebody will step in for the government or something, probably. And
I don't know that a judge ruled that it was legal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding?
No. Yeah. There was a lot of articles. There was a lot of articles on it that a lot of people weren't able to get it. So it sucks because you would have to get your lawyers, and then but if you get your lawyers, you're still spending money in order to get money that you don't have. So I don't know. It's a lose-lose situation if that ends up going into that, unless they're actually going to provide you a free lawyer and they're going to do it out of the kindness of their heart, like how lawyers are.
Yeah.
Well, some lawyers will, like over here, one of our corporate attorneys, he was doing anybody who was at a protest and got arrested, he was representing them. If they were, like with Black Lives Matter, and they got arrested for being there, he was representing them and getting their charges removed. So sometimes they do some stuff like that. A lot of lawyers would do pro bono work just because it's, and I actually hope Mike watches this, because it's a big tax write-off for them and they're blood-sucking leeches.
Oh.
Well, well, hopefully we get lawyers like that over here, because I know a lot of people got that. I mean, and there's no way they're like, nobody can afford like $8,000, $10,000 out of nowhere, which that makes for a good story in the future.
Yeah. You can have a vampire go up against wait a minute, they did that in Blade 2. Oh, I'm not a vampire, I'm a lawyer,
But we were just talking about how they flesh out Marvel characters, and DC characters are just so powerful that it doesn't seem as three-dimensional as the Marvel characters. That's why I have more of a connection with Marvel characters, because they go more into their emotional sides, I guess, compared to Superman. Just goes in there and it's like, and Batman is just Batman. They try to give a little bit of an emotional side, but they give a little bit of backstory, but backstory is just not good enough sometimes. Sometimes you need a little bit more than backstory for your characters.
Yeah.
Everything we need to know about a character like Batman. He's, a vigilante because he watched his parents get shot when he was a child. So
yeah, but he a bit more dimension. He can't just be grumpy and gloomy all the time.
Yeah.
Well, multi-billion trillionaire, I wouldn't be grumpy and gloomy all the time. this, regardless of what people say.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I know was
want crepes. Let's fly to France. Okay.
well, see, like with I know with my character Raven, she's very quiet. She's a character that really gets into her mind, and she's a strategist. At least I try to write it. I don't know because I can't tell if readers are catching that or not. But with my character Raven, she has to stand back, look at things, put all the probabilities together, and then come up with a plan. And most of her actual friends around her don't usually understand that about her, that she's actually coming up with this plan. And I do that in a lot of her inside POV. So in order to actually get people to connect with her, if it was turned into a movie, I wonder, okay, so if it's a movie, are they going to catch that idea about her, that she still has all these inner monologues going inside?
Well, they'd have to have it based on a first person narrative to where she's narrating it as the movie takes place. So it's
Yeah, that's true.
the third person. And I've seen movies that work really well like that.
Mhm.
I mean, I hate to
Will
compare it
Smith.
to movies, but the Twilight series did a really wonderful job of doing that on the big screen. And of course, it is every pre-teenage girl's fantasy, but it made millions. So, yeah, it worked, and it worked for a very large fan base. So they'd probably just have to, your director would probably have to do it that way.
Mhm, mhm. Raven's an analytical thinker.
Very
Yeah.
much so.
Mhm. Mhm.
And with so Kindra, you mainly with all yours, like the permutation archives, that's marketing toward young adult, or where do you put your books at?
I usually try to focus more on new adult now. The Executioner trilogy, I had marketed more towards the young adult, but it's going to actually be leaning more adult once I get this rewrite finished. Permutation Archives, I was leaning more in the new adult area, kind of between, what do they consider, 18 to 25-ish.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think that's
Okay.
the age group.
Maybe that's what I should aim for Raven, is new adult. Maybe I should just switch it to that, because I know there's always been like I said, and spilling ink yesterday, and we were talking, and that's my biggest problem, is trying to figure out where she fits in, because of her age. Everybody wants her to be young adult, but then she's really not 16. She was turned when she was 13. The curse changed her up to 16. She's really not 16. She's over 200 years old. And I have like sexual stuff in there and more darker themes, and it doesn't fall into the young adult. The other books will probably fall.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Characters that are a little bit older, especially the ones over 18, maybe early 20s, you have these characters that really don't fit very neatly into one little niche, because there are situations that they'll run into, like Mila's run into some adult situations throughout the series. So that's there, and kind of hard to figure out exactly where they fit. Miss Hyde is.
Oh, that's very. That's like
Miss Hyde.
A lot
Miss
of times,
Hyde is very.
your characters may be younger, but like Kendra was saying, when they come up against adult problems, it's how they deal with it that determines more if it's adult type book or a younger a book, or book for the younger people. Because let's face it, you don't think the same about a situation at 16 or even as a mature 20-year-old as you do when you're 30 or 35. So, that kind of plays into it too. So I think a lot of it is how you have your character deal with it.
I think with like what William was saying with his Raven, she matured very quickly because of the Raven, or because of her vampire curse.
Yeah.
But she also had to mature very quickly because basically she watched her whole family die. So she's not going to think about things like a 13-year-old or a 16-year-old.
Right.
And when I was reading them and helping him out with some very light editing, I forgot that she was 16 years old, 13 when she was changed. age to 16 and then 18 or whatever. She always seemed like she was just around 25 from the time she got changed, because the way she thought, she was already very mature and very, you could tell she was the oldest, and you could tell that she was very independent already. So she was a very well fleshed out character,
Well,
and
people
that
forget,
helped.
people seem to forget too that trauma ages you, you know, in real life or in fiction, and that should reflect.
Good point. Good point.
No, yeah. I was reading an article in Psychology where it says, it changes you compared to people who haven't had very much experience that fall under like PTSD. You know, it does change you. It helps you mature, or certain things that you gather from that experience helps you to where you, I don't know, like a defense mechanism, but at the same time, it gives you more awareness of the world and what is out there compared to people who haven't experienced something bad that's happened to them, and they become more protective of themselves, or more how do you say, they're very cautious about doing certain things that are new, because they understand that, you know, if it goes wrong, something might happen to them.
Yeah, they see things differently. It's a different view. They understand now that the world's more perilous than they thought, and that they are in more danger, perhaps. And when you're a teenager, you're like, oh, nothing will ever hurt me type, you know, I mean, you just don't think so much about it. You just like bop along. And
Yeah.
Been there, done that. I still cry, but get broke easier now.
And that's what like with characters, I know like I said, we kind of focus on trying to give ideas for new writers and stuff, but I think that's one of the deeper aspects of character development, when you actually start going into psychology of your character. I know I have a couple of books on psychology for character development, and they go into like narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, and of course a plethora of other ideas in the psychology world. Of course, was Freud and his daughter, and all those people had their, you know, they keep moving on to different classes for the real world that you can actually apply to characters. And when I'm thinking about characters, I usually try to apply some of that into the real world in order to flesh out that 3D aspect. I don't know about you guys. I know that you're writing a thriller, romance, and Kindra, you're working on these other ones. Do y'all take any of the aspects like from psychology into character development?
You're speaking Kendra's language.
Oh.
Your background, Kindra, I know you're proud of it.
I know I do. I have 2 degrees in criminal neuropsychology, so absolutely.
Okay, so you,
everything. I mean, in everything, every aspect of everything I've ever written there, I apply it. I mean, there's no reason not to. I want to make sure that the world and their reaction to the world and how the world changes them, or vice versa, is accurate as possible. And I feel like some kind of psychological element behind that to make it more realistic.
Yeah. I think that helps your reader identify with your character, what you're doing. That's great.
Writing likable characters, so I'm okay with that.
Killing characters. So
I'm not.
She killed off one character, and one of her beta readers was screaming at her and message her, "Why did you do that? That was my favorite character." And she was Montgomery Burns going, "Excellent."
But that's always good when you get a reaction like that. At least you know that you're connecting with your readers.
Yeah.
For myself, the psychological aspect always comes into play. As I'm fleshing out a character, you know what it feels like to be sad. You know what it feels like to be romantic. You know what it feels like to be scared. So put that emotion into your character, and you'll have a better emotional connection with your reader.
Yeah.
Because you want something that connects with the reader, such in real life, that they can link into your character for the actual book. Once you do that, that's why they're going to have more sympathy or empathy toward the character, because they understand what happened to them in real life. So they understand, and it gives us a sense of, you know, likeness and similarities for the character. And in the world, we all want some, we all want to be part of a group because we have that in our back of our mind, right? Because in the groups, we want to be similar to people or have people around us that have the similar ideas and thoughts and beliefs. So it's all
a lot of groups.
Well, I'm an isolationist, so I hide in my room. So
right. Kendra's an introvert, so she's perfectly content with not going out into the pollen scented sunlight because they're both bad. So,
so in essence, she's almost like a vampire, like in my books. They want to just stay inside.
It's amazing we got together because I want to be outside all the time.
Yeah, and peopling I don't recommend.
Yeah, she'd rather stay and go even to the grocery store. We need groceries, so.
Hey Ed, can you go? Are you doing anything today? Can you go to the store?
Shopping because my wife doesn't want to go. Yeah. But now that I'm pregnant, I make her go with me so she can get some walking.
You're gonna go walk.
Get the exercise in.
Yeah. Something. If I didn't exist and Kindra lived here by herself, I guarantee you she would have 5 computers, all with different books on them. One of them streaming Spotify while she's got the TV on, sitting on the couch with some kind of drink, 10 cats, and a blanket while she's typing the next bestseller.
I don't know about 10 cats, but
maybe one.
Well, I think Kindra is just a knowledge seeker, which is good. That's good. She likes to keep educating herself. There's nothing wrong with that, Kindra. I'm behind you, kid.
There would be empty bottles of wine next to the trash can, and let me think. She'd probably have some kind of cereal sitting on the counter, and she'd probably not even buy groceries other than that.
Well, now, do we dare ask Kindra to give a little synopsis of you?
Go ahead.
He's fearless.
There'd be steak and potatoes and beer and a lot of time.
yeah, all the things that right now he is not allowed to have.
And Twinkies.
Oh my goodness, Twinkies! Oh my God, you're making me suffer now because I can't have anything with sugar. I keep trying to call it the coronavirus diet, the carnivore diet. I'm in the carnivore diet, so
he's on high protein, low carb because his doctor told him that he should be on it.
Yeah,
that's kind of keto. Keto is high protein.
Keto has enough fat in it. I'm
Yeah,
not
we're
supposed to
trying
have
not
that
to
either.
do all the fat.
So, well, you have to eat a lot of meat, though, right? Because of the protein.
Right, but I'm
You
staying.
just the leaner cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what keto is. There is just a lot of meat and the leaner cuts if we get them.
yeah, I have to eat a lot of high fats so I can get my sugars. So the chemical compound and breakdown of that could, since I'm not getting any sugars, I got to eat the high fats.
I did vegan for 9 months and actually gained weight.
That's crazy.
Oh.
Wow.
But what's vegan? Potato chips.
Yeah.
See?
Okay, now she's telling on you.
But I had a chip today. So
I tried not to let you buy them. If you went by yourself, you bought them.
I'd buy one bag and they were gone in one day. And then what did I do the rest of the week? Didn't have potato chips, obviously. I would have coffee and snack on carrots for lunch. Something for lunch that was vegetables. And then we'd have something for dinner that was vegetables. And I ended up gaining weight. And I was like, how the hell am I gaining weight on a vegan diet?
It was those potato chips.
Potato chips, man. Potato chips.
Chips is that he would have his own bag of potato chips. I would have mine. I could make mine last an entire week. He'd sit down, eat all of it in one sitting, and then move in on my bag.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Didn't want them going stale. Because go stale.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
That's how mine is. I mean, I can't buy potato chips. I'll eat it all in one sitting. I have to force myself to like put it away.
No, no. Oh, it's hard to do. Those chips are good.
I'm not done.
I'm trying to catch up.
I said the bag's not empty yet, so obviously I'm not done. Where if it was on your plate, you ate it, and you ate all you had on your plate. So if the bag's still there, obviously I'm not finished. There's a whole box of donuts there. Obviously I'm not done if there's still one box. There's a whole pizza there. Obviously I'm not done if I have to put it in the fridge.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy.
That's one way to look at it.
Now wait a minute here. I'm sitting there and I've already put my plate in the sink or washed my dishes or whatever. And this one over here won't finish hers and she'll hand it to me. Here, finish this.
No, I say I can't finish it, and he takes it upon himself to finish it. See?
I also grew up with people who lived through the Great Depression. So they were like, oh no, we're not throwing away food. There's people in Africa starving. I'm like, well, give it to them. I don't want it.
Yeah. Okay, now, Kindra, and what? Tell me what kind of advice would you give a brand new writer? What would you say to them?
Who's that question to?
Kindra? Well, both of you, but Kindra, start first, and then Ed, chip in.
Well, she's a better writer than I'll ever be. So,
but I'm crappy at advice.
What was when you first started learning? What was some of the things that you learned, or one of the things that you learned that really helped you? That maybe another brand new writer could learn from what you experienced.
I don't know. See, I started in high school, and I was working with a friend on something. So that taught me early on, don't work. But now I'm working with friends. Working with friends again. So obviously, I don't stick to my own advice. And I mean, don't be afraid to learn and to grow from your writing experience. Because if you get rejected, and they tell you why, don't take so much offense to it. Think of it as constructive criticism and learn from whatever they were telling you.
Okay, yeah, good point. Learn from the criticism. Don't take it as personal.
I mean, nasty on reviews to be nasty. Obviously, you don't want to listen to those people because they obviously have nothing to offer you. But
right,
when they want you to grow, listen to those people. Don't take such offense over the advice that they are giving you.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And what would you say?
I've actually got maybe two. I know two, possibly three. First one is if you're a new writer, find 3 people that you can trust, preferably other authors, that are not family members or best friends, and have them be beta readers. You want 3. And I'll tell you why you want. Will's shaking his head yes. I'll tell you why you want 3. Because if you have more than that, you're going to have too many opinions. If you have less than that, you're not going to have enough. 3 will give you 3 constructive opinions on what your story is doing for them. If you have 5, you've got way too many. And only what is repeated. To focus on every little nitpicky thing. Because you're not going to everybody 100% of the time. Now, the second thing I would suggest is that if you are submitting to publishers, don't submit the first draft. Ever. You better revise that thing 10 times before you send it to them.
Yeah.
To that, they're going to pull their hair out. And if they're like me, they'll just scratch their head bald. So, don't
really good point.
First draft. You want to revise that thing at least 5 times. And that's with and then you want to pay somebody that you trust to edit it for you, or at least ask somebody to edit it for you. Somebody that actually knows what they're doing. You don't necessarily pay for an editor because the publisher is going to edit it themselves anyway. And a lot of times you get an editor that finds something that your editor that you paid for didn't find it, and you're like, well, what the hell did I pay for? Every editor edits differently.
Oh yeah.
You can pay $5,000 for an editor, And that $5,000 editor didn't catch what I caught for $200-300. Because I looked at it differently. I'm a different editor than the next one, and the one after me is going to be different than I was. So you never have a completely clean copy. Each person's going to look differently. It's going to mean something different to each person that reads it. So editors, beta readers, if you're new to this, don't trust yourself to put the book together, get it all formatted, get it out there, and you think I wrote the next great American novel, I might as well just be Steinbeck. Well, it's not going to happen, because if you're trusting yourself to do your own editing, you're missing everything that matters.
Yeah.
And then, of course, adding to the, if possible, my only addition to that would be if you have your book. I know with a lot of more famous writers who actually have the money for it, they have more than one editor. You have an editor who goes in there and maybe they're doing the copy editing, and you have the ones that go in there and do the what's it called? What's the other one called? The where they go into the story arc, character development, and whatnot.
Structure.
Yeah.
That's what I. That's the kind of I get into the mindset of what the author is trying to portray and help them develop their story along. Will and I worked really good together. Brian and I worked really good together. Kindra and I work really well together, which I'd hope so. I have to live with her. And I mean, I just got through helping another author that used to be one of my editors create her next release that's coming out sometime this year, I hope. And I didn't really get too deep into that one, but she took a lot of the advice I gave her with the first one and portrayed it into the second one. So we didn't have to get that deep into it. Yeah. I think that if you're going to go out on a tangency and get an editor to look at your book before you submit it or publish it yourself, if you're self-pub, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm self-published. Kindra's got a couple that are self-published. Miriam is self-published. I know Janelle is. There's absolutely nothing wrong with self-publishers there, but you kind of have to hold the bar a little higher for yourself. You want it to be as copy as you can, because one, you don't have the marketing money that, say, King or Rice or even Stephanie Myers has to put that book out there and have 150,000 copies sold on opening day. You're not going to get bookstores to pick it up just because your name's on it. So,
well, and two, those readers will ring you.
Oh yeah,
and also you don't have a publisher to blame for anything that's wrong with it.
Right. You would not believe how many times I got blamed for something that wasn't even my fault. As a publisher, we'd give the edits back to this author. The author would refuse to change anything, and then we'd put the book up thinking it's a clean copy, and the editing sucks. And I go and look at it, and I'm like, wait a minute. No, the editing's fine. And I'd get the copy back down and look at it, and I'd be like, why weren't these changes? So at that point, I was going back through and back to make sure.
Well, listen, guys, I've got to beg off. I've got a huge house I got to pack up, and it was so nice meeting you. And I'm really sorry I have to leave, but if I don't, I'm going to be on the streets.
Yeah, we don't want that.
The new owners are going to kick me out in the front yard and camp out in the driveway, I guess. Okay, I will see all of you, and it was good seeing you, Ed, Kindra. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, we're 3.
Yeah, down to 3 again. I know she said she was going to pop in, but yeah, be camping out in her own house. Do what?
I'm glad she did. We met Janelle. Well, we got together with Janelle when Allegiances was being produced, back when Burning Willow Press was still a thing. And like I said, I talked to her a couple times on the phone, and she always seemed like she was upbeat and ready to go. I had to track her down a few times over paperwork, but she was very willing. So that's always a plus when you got authors that are very willing to get in there and do the dirty work, so to speak.
Yeah, and she's it's a co-author. It's weird because we're completely. How would I explain this? I guess I would be like a macro writer, and she would be a micro writer. That's like. Yeah, it's like something that I'm coining right now, but it's because I write an entire universe and I see it in a macro way, in where I'm looking at the story over the overall story, and then I go into the character and write the character compared to the overall story. She'll start from the opposite side, where she's looking at the smaller things from sentence structure to whatnot, but also, and then comes up and works on the character. So the character is always the midpoint, but we come in at opposite sides. And though she's my co-writer, there's some stuff that I disagree with, and sometimes, of course, she disagrees with me. So we have disagreements, but we try to meet in the middle. And it's such an interesting occurrence to me, because we have so many different ideas and think about things in the opposite way, but we end up making it work. Of course, for this book, she ended up taking over the entire story for Leonette. And of course, Leonette is one of the characters from Raven, which I wanted her to do that just so she could be a completely different character and be to the modern times compared to the olden times when she was more quiet, kind of like Raven is. They kind of reversed. But anyway, so we're getting close. Yeah, we're already past the hour. I was going to talk about one subject, but we're already at the hour mark. So I don't know, maybe we can have y'all back on here and talk about certain subjects. I wanted to cover the subjects as far as actual beta readers and how people deal with the, what do you call it? I guess, oh my gosh, I drank too much. I forgot the word I was going to say. The criticism, not criticism, but the advice that they give.
Feedback.
Yeah, feedback. There we go. Yeah. I lost that brain cell.
Well together.
Yeah. Especially with, like, I finished the whole entire glass. So.
Oh, wow. But yeah, we'd be happy to come back anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just get on my phone.
Yeah. There we go.
Anybody who was out there trying to pick up the beginning of this thing and stuck it through. And when you live out in the middle of nowhere and the FCC screwed you over and AT&T continues to screw you over, you don't get anything as far as internet goes. But I've got great cell phone coverage.
Start hooking everything up to your phone. There we go.
Considered it.
We have considered it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I usually do when my internet dies. If my main internet dies, I just hook up my computer and everything to my phone, because unless I'm working on websites and uploading photos, usually I don't need it. I just need enough to either listen to my music and look at my stocks. And I'm like, all right, I'm happy.
Right. Absolutely. But yeah, we'll be happy to come back anytime.
Absolutely.
All right.
And also, Katie, Kindra and I gave you a shout out earlier. We should probably do a Spilling Ink show with you soon. How much I know she's watching.
Hopefully somewhere. Well, I know they're I know trying to throw some more people my way. We got 6. I don't know if you're a subscriber, but we're finally up to 6 subscribers.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I subscribed to you like late last week.
Okay, yeah. So you're
through stations, and I go, wait a minute, I got to go find Will and Janelle's show. So I started flipping through YouTube, and I finally subscribed, and I was like, oh wow, they've got a lot of these things out already. I thought this was brand new. So,
oh yeah. We're working on it, trying to get it out there. This is a new platform for me, so I do my marketing on Facebook, Instagram, but for Twitter and YouTube, it's
in the industry that I was in. I know a lot of authors. I'll see what I can do to shoot some your way.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd like to interview as many as I can. Like I said, through their interviews, they usually do, like you're doing right now, shoot more authors our way. And I mean, we focus on brand new writers, but eventually I want to get more into depth. Like I know yesterday for Spilling Ink, we went in depth about cover design. and why cover designs are important. I don't know if I don't know if it's an interesting or new concept, but I was telling them with cover design, you have to be very particular on who you pick, because what a lot of people do is they pick their cover design and it looks good to the author, but I keep saying, look, the author should concentrate on writing, not on cover design. Find you a very good cover designer who's very familiar with that genre, and don't make a cover design that's completely different from the genre. Otherwise, people won't associate it with that particular genre. And we went into depth and we said, look, just because you think the font or a cover or the look of the cover looks good to you, and you might get 200 or 300 readers, that's only your circle. 200 or 300 readers might actually like that cover. But if you actually want to be serious and contemplate about making 3,000, 4,000 or more to make a living on your writing, you got to have you a professional editor, a professional cover designer, a professional synopsis. And it's like looking at a sick person. You have to figure out what's wrong with the book so you can move forward and reach more than the 200 or 300 people that you're getting right now. 200 or 300 strangers who might like your cover, it's not going to give you the 3,000 a month that you need to make a living, or 4,000, whatever the price is to make a living. But that's why you have to do a book cover that's going to outreach further away.
A year.
Wait, repeat that.
Apparently it's $1,400 a year. Yeah. And according to last year, it cost you $1,800 to live through last year. So yeah, that's the living wage now.
Oh gosh.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. That's why poverty level. Well, if you want to live in the poverty level. But yeah, I would love to have y'all back on and go into in-depth about some other actual I don't know, ideas about writing. Anything that y'all might like and stuff that I might like. Like I said, I was gonna actually kind of put your book on spot and see what the advice that you got back from your beta readers, and kind of go over. I think I had to advise something on show, don't tell, and maybe on real dialect or real dialogue compared to fantasy dialogue in your books and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but anyway.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime, just give me a call. You got my number.
For sure. And I think for our next interview, for everybody else out there, Brian Tan is going to actually come back on Thursday, and I have another author. So me and him, I don't know if Janelle is going to make that one. I know she said she's probably be gone for the month. She might pop in like today, but planning to have Brian Tan, and I got an author that I met on Instagram, so we'll have two authors.
You got to get Brian one.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that too.
You got to get Brian and Santiago and Kindra on one.
Oh god,
that would be awesome. Yeah, throw.
Loud one.
It'd be a loud podcast.
I don't mind. Get him in. Yeah, Kindra, you talk to Santiago, right? What's his last name?
Cirillo. You're supposed to roll the R, but I'm not very good at that.
No.
Cirillo.
Yeah, I can't even do that. Cirillo.
It's Santa Claus.
Oh, okay. Santa Claus. Let's get him on there. Anyway, thank you guys for coming on board. Everybody else out there, again.
No need to thank us, man. Anytime you need help, just let us know.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Push anybody our way, that'd be awesome. As far as my books, William W.J.R. Parks, you can find me on Kindle, and I have print and, of course, the Kindle books. Where can people find you guys at?
I can be found at ksowderauthor.com and on Amazon and Facebook and Instagram.
If you're interested, my stuff's over on Amazon and Kindle and in print. I haven't branched out. You can also get my stuff at Barnes & Noble too.
Nice. Alrighty, everybody. We'll see you either on Tuesday or Thursday. Thank you for tuning in, and come visit us again and keep on writing.